Hey everybody, back again. It actually occurred to me in my last video, I had the beer in my hand for the whole time, but I didn't actually take a drink. So for that, I'm sorry. It didn't actually. It annoyed me as I was rewatching. I thought, come on, just take a drink, you fucking moron. And I held it up to my lips a couple of times and just didn't. Even when I cheered, I didn't take a drink. So there's that rectified. I was originally going to talk about, with the election coming up, the Victorian state election coming up later on in the week. It's actually this weekend, and early polling having opened up last week. I was going to talk about various candidates throughout my region, and even the main candidates in my electorate, but that all to me would just come across too biased and a little bit crass, and it comes across a little bit of me telling you how to vote, and quite frankly, that's fucking rude. I don't want to do that. You vote however you want, even if it's completely opposed to how I do. That's your democratic freedom and really your democratic duty, the way I see it. So I think you do what you feel is best, not what. And even if it's your mother or father or, aunties and uncles, there's a lot of pressure. I find a lot of people treat voting very much like football teams, and it pisses me off. So you vote how you think you should vote. My personal opinion. One thing I do want to say though, because one thing I have noticed leading up to this election, and really maybe it's just my age, I'm getting to the point where I'm a little bit more politically minded, and I've sort of got my finger on the pulse a little bit more as far as our future and my kids' future and the future of the nation and the world as a whole. I've gotten to the point where I'm sort of paying a little bit more attention. So I actually, when I see advertisements and even social media from candidates about why we should vote for them, I'm seeing very much a lot of you should vote for us because we're not them. And I'm sick and tired of hearing that. And both sides, both sides are guilty of that. I see it a lot from the Liberal Party, who are our major Conservative party. I see it a lot from the ALP as well, the Australian Labor Party. I'll be honest with you, the only party I don't see it a lot from is the Greens. They actually put forth, here's what we're going to do. Here's our policies. And this is no advertisement for the Greens. I'm not even a Greens voter. So it's, I suppose, me giving them a little bit of a hat tip saying, kudos, good for you. And I've just got I did have the candidates' social media pages just there on the computer just here in front of me. So if I'm looking off to the side, that's why. And I have closed them down, but I just expected it to be there. And I just sort of took a quick look. So I suppose that's really what I want to say. Just make an informed decision. Make sure you know the policies of the people that you're voting for, especially the independents, because quite often they can surprise you with a lot of their views. Be they good or bad, they can be very, very extreme, and sometimes not. Sometimes they can be very measured. But that's what I'm saying. They're really a mixed bag. So make sure you're researching who you're actually voting for. As far as election policy and election promises go, I do want to hold a couple of people to account as far as that goes. I want to say that a couple of weeks ago was Halloween, and I don't know about what it's like for the rest of the country, but down here in Victoria, like a lot of us a lot of our kids really seem to be getting into it, and it's really becoming a big thing. When I remember growing up, Halloween it wasn't even, shops didn't even bother decorating. There was no extra lollies or anything like that on the shelves. There's none of that. But nowadays it's really becoming huge. There's even jack-o'-lantern pumpkins being sold specifically to be caught and decorated. So that it's really becoming a big thing. But anyway, that's getting completely off topic. someone, I don't know who, but whoever he or she is, I would love to shake their hand. Somebody went around, right around town, and defaced all of the local political candidates' signs. Now, I found it absolutely fucking hilarious. I thought it was great. And every party that had signs out was hit. There wasn't really anybody who was... There wasn't anybody who was left out, put it that way. They were all hit. The right and the left, they were all hit. And I thought that the reactions from the three parties, the three major parties, was quite telling of how they are. Now, I found that Juliana Addison, who's the Labor candidate for Wendouree, was quite measured and quite, if anything, sorry Juliana, but a little bit boring in her response. Was just, this is a terrible thing, people shouldn't do this, let's move forward, all that kind of, very safe down the line bullshit. Which is fine, that's a fine response, and I have no problem with it. Just for me personally, I found it a little bit boring. I found that Andrew Kilmartin, who's the Liberal candidate for Buninyong, didn't really say anything. Didn't bring attention to it, which again, also fine. Hat tip to him. Didn't say anything, didn't bring attention to it. Cool. Absolutely no problems. I found the Greens candidate for Wendouree, who is Alice Barnes. Kudos to you, Alice. Actually made a joke about saying, well, we're all getting into the spirit of Halloween now, and she put up some pictures on her social media, and, I thought it was funny. I thought that I actually thought they were Photoshop photos when I first saw it. I thought they were Photoshop pictures. And it wasn't until I saw that a few more had been done that, oh, okay, they were actual pictures. So, good for you, mate. Made a light-hearted joke out of something that was probably really annoying to you. Now, and I'm fairly certain that these photos have been taken down by now. The Liberal candidate for Wendouree, Amy Johnson, who, to put it politely, I have no time for. I think that she's dishonest, and it's got nothing to do with the fact that she's a Liberal. I just find her whole campaign has been very smearing, very much not about putting forward her own policy, and more about just saying, look at what they've done. It's quite disgusting, really. Anyway, that's my personal opinion. Okay, that's not, that's nothing other than my personal opinion with my dealings over on social media. I can't stand her. Rather than saying nothing, like a Buninyong counterpart did, saying something that was safe and down the line, like a Wendouree opposition did, or making a joke out of it, like her other opposition, I guess, who was the Greens candidate for Wendouree. She not only says, look, that is unacceptable, that shouldn't happen, which it shouldn't, I'm not debating that. She then blames her opposition and blames Labor supporters for sabotaging her campaign, which I think that there's absolutely no need for that whatsoever. Very, very poor form. But while we're on policy, while I'm talking about that, I want to address Michaela Settle, who's the Buninyong, the ALP representative for Buninyong. She made a promise when she knocked on my door a few weeks ago. She made a promise to my daughter that if she is elected, that she'll take her into take her into her offices and have her be a politician for a day or half a day or whatever. So that is one election promise that I will actually hold you to if you are elected, Michaela. So good luck to everybody. I hope it's a fair, clean campaign, and I hope that the best man or woman wins. Thanks, guys.